Hello everyone, it is great to see you today, great to be with you and to be able to share this thought for the day with you. Now we are at the start of a new week, and this week we are starting a new little mini-series all looking at Easter reflections. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about Easter hope. Now of course hope is something that we all need. And the brilliant news about Easter hope is it's not pie in the sky when you die. And that's why Peter, writing in 1 Peter chapter 1, calls Easter hope living hope. It's living hope, he says, because it's all about Jesus. And because it's hope rooted in the Easter story, hope rooted in the death and physical bodily resurrection of Jesus. Now, of course, the resurrection is absolutely at the centre of our faith. But lots of people would question that. Lots of people would question the hope that we have on the basis of how realistic really is it to believe in a physical bodily resurrection. And often we as Christians can feel confused about it. We might actually feel ourselves like we wrestle and struggle to believe in a physical bodily resurrection. But I think there's really good news, because I think and I passionately believe that it's not just possible to believe in the resurrection, but when we look at the evidence, I passionately believe it's logical to believe in the resurrection. And that's why I think that we can have confidence in the resurrection. Well, why? What evidence is there to believe in the resurrection that is at the centre of our Easter hope? Well, the first thing is the absence of Jesus' body from the tomb. Now, of course, people say, well, actually, there's lots of different reasons why his body might not have been there. The first is that Jesus didn't die. But of course, what we're talking about here is professional soldiers. The Romans knew what they were doing. They were professionals at killing people. They were professionals at stringing people up on a cross. They knew exactly what they were doing. And it's highly unlikely, especially since they stabbed him in the side, that actually Jesus didn't die on the cross. Now, the second objection raised to the second reason why people say Jesus' bodies being absent from the tomb is that the disciples stole the body. But given the fact that so many of the disciples died gruesome, painful deaths and didn't recant, you've got to ask the question, would you die for something that you knew to be a lie? I certainly wouldn't, and I suspect the answer is true, that you wouldn't either. Why would they die for a lie if they had stolen the body? But then, thirdly, people say, well, the authorities stole the body. Well, why then, when this idea of Jesus rising from the dead, if that was the case, well, why didn't they just reproduce the body? Why didn't they just say, okay, well, here it is, he's not actually risen from the dead? It just doesn't make sense, does it? But then the second thing is his presence with the disciples. Now, lots of people think, well, this is just a hallucination. But actually, against that is the number of appearances. Is it likely that over 500 people on over at least 10 different occasions would have exactly the same delusion or exactly the same hallucination? And it's over a period of 6 weeks again. And the nature of the appearances is against the idea that it was a hallucination, the physical bodily nature of some of those appearances. And then we can look at the immediate impact, the dramatic effect of Jesus' death and his resurrection, the birth and the growth of the Christian church, the incredible growth rate and spread of Christianity as the disciples spread out across the whole known world. Now, of course, some people would point to some social factors to try and explain that, but actually that's not enough. It's not enough to explain the incredible growth that Christianity saw. And then, of course, there's the effect down the ages. Because the experience of so many Christians throughout the years can't be discounted. Countless millions of people would have testimonies of having encountered the risen Christ. And when you add all of these things up, I think that the evidence that Jesus rose from the dead is actually pretty extensive. And I think that that can give us confidence as followers of Jesus today. Former Lord Chief Justice Lord Darling said this: in its favour as living truth, there exists such overwhelming evidence, positive and negative, factual and circumstantial, that no intelligent jury in the world could fail to bring in a verdict that the resurrection story is true. So I think that all we can do is join with Peter when he writes and says this: praise be to God and Father, to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Friends, may we have confidence in our Easter hope as we reflect on the truth of the resurrection today. May we know that living hope today as we put our trust in Jesus. Take care, God bless, and have a great day.